Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren, and I am about to guide you through a gentle yoga practice where we are focusing on the solar plexus, which is the third of your seven main chakras. And your solar plexus, generally, we refer to it in the space sort of in your belly, just above your belly button, sort of by the ribs. And it's associated with power and strength and determination and courage and perseverance. And so, a lot of times, because of the space that it's in and because of those qualities, it often gets in asana practices with physical poses, it gets uh, put together with like ab work. All right. We're going to do a little bit of that, but I want you to think about it as just, again, overall in your body and even mentally, strength, power, courage, determination, perseverance, those sorts of things. It's not just about core strength and ab strength. We're going to do a little bit of that, and I'm going to want your muscles all over your body to work and to feel that strength and power. But the solar plexus is so much more than a strong core, which is sometimes how it gets interpreted in, again, physical poses and classes. And so we're going to do a little bit of that, but I'll link a few articles if you're interested in reading more about the solar plexus. We won't get into it too much, but just again, it's about that deep strength, power, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, before we get into that, a few things about the sequence too. You are going to need a strap or something like a strap and a block or something like a block. Okay. And then before we even really get started, which is what we'll do in just a moment, I'm recording with something different again. So if you've already watched the vinyasa practice for this month, I used a microphone that was clipped to my shirt. I just want to try something different. I've actually purchased multiple microphones, tried them and returned them, and I just keep doing it because I really want to find something that works really well. For recording, again, like I've got the air on, so that's loud. I don't know if you could hear it, but something with sirens just went by. And I live on the top floor, and last week they started working on the roof in our building. And so there's just a lot of sounds. And so you let me know. Do you like the microphone on my shirt? Do you like this? Do you like when I'm just talking into the camera, which again, that's when other sounds get picked up. But you let me know by the time you're watching the July, I forgot what month we're in and what month I'm recording for. By the time you watch these videos, I will have probably recorded next month's, but the month after that, and I'm curious on your feedback and your thoughts. What audio preference you have, if any. Okay. All right. All that sort of stuff aside, now we can get started. So again, at some point you'll need a strap and at some point you'll need a block. But for right now, go ahead and come down onto your back. So coming down into your back, just make yourself comfortable like always. Find a position that feels like you don't have to work very much. You don't have to work at all, really. So just find that spot, find that position. Let everything rest, let everything relax. And then take a few deep breaths here. Really fill your lungs. Feel your breath traveling through the body. Notice how smooth, how seamless your breath is. Notice how there's no hesitation, no interruption. Your breath has this beautiful, seamless, fluid quality. And continuing with that seamless and uninterrupted quality, can you deepen your breath even more? Can you send your breath down to this solar plexus, to this space by the belly, maybe even past the solar plexus? Can you fill your torso, fill your lungs with this breath? Allow the entire torso to fill with your breath. With your breath that feels soft and fluid, but you know is strong and powerful. Your breath contains so much strength, so much power, so much within it, but can you allow it to be soft? Can you allow your breath to be gentle and easy, even though you know it has the power within it? Feel that gentle power with each breath, that soft strength with each breath. Take 3 more breaths just like this. And then return back to your natural breath. And then if it feels right for you, you might take this time to set an intention for your practice. Reflect on a positive word or phrase and give yourself some time to allow it to settle in your heart. And then one more time, start to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, this time create movement throughout the body. Maybe rock your head side to side, wiggle fingers and toes, move arms and legs, and just wake everything up. Maybe move into that full body stretch. Maybe hug your knees into your chest. Maybe roll out the wrists and ankles. Whatever feels good. Just 2 or 3 more breaths. Okay. All right, let's start. We're going to stay on our back. Just bend the knees, bring the feet flat onto the ground. Arms can rest wherever is comfortable. We're doing the pelvic tilt. This is one of my favorite things this last year, I guess, really, this movement here. I think it really is so helpful and just such a good way to really isolate this space that very often holds a lot of tension, gets really stuck and stiff, doesn't get a lot of attention or movement. So you know where we're going with this. Relax your legs, relax your feet, relax your shoulders and arms. But as you inhale, lift your midsection, lift your lower back, arching your back. So from the side, your spine looks like the shape of a rainbow. Seat on the ground, Shoulders on the ground, but the midsection lifting, arching. And then as you exhale, push down into the ground. Push your lower back down. Push your ribs down. Engage your core. Feel that fire as you push down into the ground. And inhale, arch. Like you're pointing your belly button at your thighs. Arch your back. Exhale, push down into the ground like you're pointing your belly button at your face. Move with your breath. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale as you push down and flatten. Now keep moving with your breath at your pace. Keep the legs and the feet relaxed. Feet are not pushing into the ground. It's not a bridge pose. Again, seat stays heavy on the ground. Shoulders and arms are relaxed. Throat, neck, and jaw, muscles of the face. So we've done this a lot before. And again, it really just is cat and cow, but on your back. So think about it when you're in cat and cow. You soften the throat, neck, and jaw, all those same spaces. You soften what you can, right? So can you do some of that here? Just moving with your breath, just like you would, again, in cat and cow. Let's do just a couple more of these. Just moving with your breath, noticing that engagement in your core, noticing those muscles starting to fire, starting to work. And I mentioned that the solar plexus often gets sort of put together with core work, and I think I might have rolled my eyes or made a face. That's not a bad thing. It just is more than that. So yeah, we're going to do core work because that is a big part of connecting to the solar plexus. But that's not all the solar plexus has to offer, right? Just like yoga is more than just moving your body. So that's what I meant by that. We are going to work your core. I do want your core to engage. So do this just one more time in each direction. Tip your pelvis forward. And then as you tip it back, hold it there. So push the lower back down, push the ribs down, push down into the ground, feel the core work. Keep your body here. So keep your pelvis in this tipped back position, belly button towards the face, shoulders and arms relaxed. Okay, now your core is turned on. You're feeling this in the front. So your core reference is really the front, the sides, and the back. But here, I mean the front side. You should not feel this in your back. This you should feel in your abs, in the front side of your core. Okay, so you're going to keep your core turned on, keep belly button towards the face, shoulders and arms relaxed. We're going to add onto this movement, really focus on the core. Keep the left leg as it is, right leg. We're going to slowly lift that right foot up like you're resting your right heel on a coffee table, shin parallel to the floor. Oftentimes this is called tabletop in Pilates classes. Okay, so keep relaxing the shoulders, keep tucking the tailbone. We're going to move just this right leg with the breath. So inhale as you lower the leg down, let some part of the foot or the toes tap the ground, and then exhale as you bring it back up. Knee bent at a right angle, shin parallel to the floor, move with your breath. Inhale as you lower, tap the ground. Exhale, lift it up. Moving with your breath, inhale, lower, and exhale, rise. Now we're going to do a few more like this. Now you know that you're moving with the pace of your breath. You might not be in sync with me, but you shouldn't be moving too much faster. Movements like this, a lot of core work stuff, the faster you move, the less you are working. So I want you to move slow. I want you to move really controlled and thoughtful. No swinging, no moving quickly. This is slow. And then try to relax the left leg. I notice that I have a tendency to push that left foot into the ground. Try to resist that temptation. Use your core, use your torso, use the muscles in the core. One more just like this. The next time you lift that right leg up, hold it there, knee at a right angle, shin parallel to the floor. Take a breath, tuck the tailbone, belly button to the face. Inhale. Exhale, let the right foot come all the way down. Let it rest, let it relax. And then you can release your pelvis, release your core, maybe do some of those pelvic tilts, maybe let the legs sway side to side. Of course, we have to do the left leg, but give yourself a break for just a moment. All right, now come back to the center. Knees bent, feet flat. Arms can be wherever you like. I like them alongside the body, palms down. It just feels a little more stable, but just like with the foot that's not moving, resist the temptation to push the arms and the hands into the ground. That just distributes the weight and the work across too many spaces and generally just builds tension in those spaces. So arms are relaxed. Palms might be down, but they're not pushing down. Okay. One pelvic tilt here. So inhale, arch your back, belly button towards the thighs, feel the opening in the front. And then exhale, feel the work in the front as you push your lower back and your ribs down into the ground, belly button towards the face. You're going to keep that action. You're going to keep that core engagement, but keep softening shoulders and arms. All right. And then slowly lift that left leg up, bending at the knee. Knee is stacked over the hip. Shin is parallel to the floor. Again, the knee is bent at a right angle. So if it's too close or too far, again, we're distributing the weight to a different space of the body. So knee over ankle, shin parallel to the floor. Keep the belly button tucked, belly button to the face, and inhale, lower the left leg. Let some part of the foot or toes tap the ground. Exhale, bring it back up, knee stacks over the hip. Inhale as you lower, but your belly button continues to point to your face as you exhale and lift it back up. Move with your breath. Now, again, you might be moving at a different pace than me, my cueing, and that's fine, but it shouldn't be significantly faster. So it still should be at a slow, controlled pace. Maybe you're just a little bit faster than me, but that's okay. Not something like twice my speed, right? Because then I would put money on it that you are recruiting the muscles of your lower back, which is not what we're trying to do. So again, you should only feel this in the front of your body, not in your back. When we're working the core here, we want the front side. Okay. So moving with the breath, slow and controlled. Resist the temptation to push the right foot into the ground. Resist the temptation to push the arms or hands into the ground. Can you soften your shoulders? Can you soften your arms? Are you taking smooth, seamless breaths? Let's do just one more like this. Staying strong again through the front side, connecting to that solar plexus, that strength and determination. Next time you lift that leg up, hold it here, stacking the knee over the hip, shin parallel. Inhale. Exhale, keep the tuck of the tailbone as you slowly lower that left foot all the way back down, letting that leg rest. Again, take a few moments. Maybe you let the knees sway. All right. We are going to do that one more time. We're going to take it up a notch. You're welcome to do what we were just doing. That's the thing with gentle practices. Sometimes, myself included, I start a gentle practice, and if I'm the student and not the teacher, and the teacher says, okay, we're going to do a little bit of work, I'm like, but this is gentle. I don't want to work. So you might be feeling like, but I don't want to work. And you don't have to. You can go back to that, whatever you want to do. But if you're in the mood for a little bit more work, like I am today, let's do a little more work. So again, feet flat, arms alongside the body. Let's do one pelvic tilt. Inhale, arch the back, point the belly button to the thighs, and then exhale, push down into the ground. Hold it there. Belly button to the face, lower back pushing down, ribs pushing down, but not feet pushing down. Feet and legs are fairly relaxed. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg up, and then lift the left leg up. Bring the feet together, maybe even the knees together. It's all right if they're not touching. Okay, knees over hips, knees and ankles in the same plane, so shins parallel to the floor. Tuck your tailbone, belly button toward your face, lower back pushing down, ribs pushing down, shoulders relaxed. We're going to alternate right leg. Inhale, let it lower, tap. Exhale, lift it up. Now left leg, inhale, lower as you drop it down. Exhale, bring it back up. We're going to keep going. Inhale, right leg, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, left leg, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep moving at your pace. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now keep tucking your tailbone, belly button towards your face. Push the lower back. Think about lengthening your lower back, like you're trying to make it long. And then relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Can you relax the feet and the ankles? Again, legs are moving, but they're not putting forth the effort. The effort is in your core. The effort is in by the solar plexus. Again, strength, perseverance, determination, courage. You've got it. Let's do just one more on each leg, just like this, slow and controlled. Again, the faster you move, oftentimes the less effective it is. So stay slow, stay strong, stay connected to your body. Notice what it's feeling, notice what it's doing. Once you come back to the center, pause here, tuck the tailbone, belly button to the face. Inhale, let the right leg come all the way down, let it rest. Exhale, let the left leg come all the way down, let it rest. Take a breather, do what feels good, sway, pelvic tilt, stretch, whatever you need, 2 or 3 breaths. All right. All right, from wherever you're at, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you rock side to side, give yourself a moment. And then let's come up to a seat. So of course you can roll through to the center, you can rock over to the side, but come up to a seat, and this is where we are going to be using those props. So make sure they're close by. So I'm going to sit on my blanket, grab a block, and grab a blanket. Grab a strap. Okay. So take a comfortable seat. Now we're going to focus a little bit more on the upper body. So keeping these things close by, let's start with the strap. All right. So you're going to grab onto your strap or whatever you've got, and you're going to hold it shoulder distance apart. So think about where your hands would be for playing tabletop, things like that. Hands sort of stacked under the shoulders, right? That same idea. Okay. You're going to reach your arms forward, like you're reaching your knuckles forward away from you, but relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now we're going to work the arms. So holding tightly onto the strap, burst out and away from the center. So the right hand goes to the right, the left hand goes to the left. I'm doing it. There's really not much to see, but like you're trying to rip the strap in half, like you're trying to burst it out and start to rip the strap. So extend your arms forward and away from each other. Again, right one to the right, left one to the left, like you're reaching your hand, the pinky finger sides of your hands over towards those walls. So the outsides of your arms, the outsides of your shoulders should feel like they are working. Let's stay here for one more breath. Relax the shoulders, reach the arms out, and then slowly release. You can relax. Okay, we're going to do that again. But the hope is that you're feeling work through the outside of the arm. You might have felt it low, you might have felt it high, anywhere in between, but somewhere in the outer arm is where we want to feel that work. Okay, we're going to do that again. So grab onto your strap again, just shoulder width and about shoulder height. Take a moment and also check in with your spine. And when we bring the arms up, the ribs often want to go forward. So draw the ribs in, belly button points forward, not down at your lap. Okay, that's a personal habit of mine, so I like to just cue it so then I remember and then now you know. Okay, so reach the knuckles forward and then burst out. So again, it's like you're trying to rip the strap in half. You're reaching the right arm to the right, the left arm to the left, but the knuckles still forward, the shoulders relax down and away from the ears. I want you to feel this in the outer part of the arm. So notice that we're staying still, but we're working hard. You know, I love that. Being able to work while keeping the movement either slow or still is so beneficial. So keep bursting out, keep pushing out. Notice the outer parts of the arms working hard. Notice all these muscles engaging in ways they maybe don't do very often. You've got the strength, the power, the determination within you. Stay with it for one more breath. Burst into that strap, reach the arms out and forward. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release and relax. You can set the strap off to the side. Maybe roll the arms out. And now we're going to do the opposite. So grab onto the block. And now you're going to grab onto the block and you're going to place it between your forearms. So this could be a pillow. It could be whatever you've got, a book, whatever. You're going to place it between your forearms, like so. Okay, so I might be blocked a little from the camera in a moment. I'll turn. Okay, so elbows bent at a right angle. So when you're looking forward, you're sort of looking at the block. more or less. Okay. So we want to make sure that you're not looking way too far over it. Oftentimes people let their elbows sag way too low. We want elbows at the same height of the shoulders, with shoulders relaxed. Arms and hands hands and wrists fairly relaxed. Now, instead of bursting out away from the center, I want you to push in. Push into the block. So right now, push in, elbows, forearms, wrists, whatever's touching the block. Push into the block. Push, push, push. Squeeze, 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 like you are trying to flatten the block. So like you're trying to squish the block, like you're trying to make it skinnier, thinner, even smaller. Keep the elbows up at the height of the shoulders. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Try to soften the hands, but push the arms in. Feel the work in the inner part of the arm, inner part of the chest. One more breath, just like this. You've got it. Stay with it. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release, relax. Maybe move around a bit. We're going to do it one more time. Take a little bit of movement. So instead of the outer part, the hope is that you felt that in the inner part, right? And through the chest. So feeling that work as you contract in as opposed to pull out. Both valuable. All right, which is why we're doing both. All right, let's do that one more time. So again, you kind of place the block in your forearms and you're going to lift it up. Elbows bent at right angles. Again, I'll turn a little bit. Elbows bent at right angles. We want to keep the elbows at the height of the shoulders and then squeeze in. Push, push, push. Again, I'm doing it. You probably can't tell, but I am doing it. My chest feels like it's working. It's the feeling almost in my chest like a plank or a push-up. So that squeezing in is a similar action. Relax the hands and fingers as best as you can. Push in with the forearms, in with the elbows. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Stay tall and long through the spine, soften shoulders away from ears. Stay with it. Keep squeezing, keep pushing. One more breath. You've got it. Stay strong in the chest. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower, relax, release, let it go. Set the block off to the side and take any movement. That feels good. So I mentioned sometimes in gentle, even I don't really feel like working very hard. But I think that's sort of the beauty of a lot of these movements is they're gentle in that they don't require anything quick or they're not demanding of your body, of the joints especially. I'm not asking for a lot of mobility in these movements, but they require strength, right? So that work, that's what we're trying to tap into. Okay, one last sort of roll of the shoulders, whatever you need to do. Shimmy them out, and then let's come to tabletop. Let's come to all fours. All right. I don't think I am going to need something under my knees. We're just going to do a few cat and cows, but maybe you bring your blocks to the top two corners of your mat. If you need more padding under your knees, you're welcome to, but we're just going to do a few cat and cows. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Start at the tailbone as you inhale, drop your belly, drop the ribs, but lift the chest, lift the heart, look forward. Move with your breath as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs to the sky, chin to the chest, look towards your belly button. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the heart, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs to the sky, chin to the chest, look towards your belly. A few more like this, moving at the pace of your breath and allowing this movement to travel like a wave. Started at the tailbone, started at the pelvis, and allow it to come up your spine one vertebrae at a time. And again, keep the muscles of the face relaxed, throat, neck, and jaw. Relax the spaces that you can. Do just one more of each. Okay, and then return back to the center, back to neutral, into a traditional tabletop. All right. From tabletop, walk your hands one whole handprint closer to the top of your mat. Spread your fingers. Hook your toes under. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Maybe pedal out the heels. Maybe sway the hips. You know your options, but take about 3 breaths here. And then deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward by the thumbs. Exhale, take baby steps. Walk your feet forward, all the way forward into forward fold Uttanasana. And we'll stay for a few breaths here. Again, you know your options. Shake the head, pedal the heels, grab the elbows, sway, whatever feels good. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then return back to the center, back to neutral. Soft bend in the knees, weight back in the heels. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Circle the arms. We're going to just do a few half sun salutations right into it. So exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, push the heels down, reach the arms up, lift the chest. 2 more like that. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana, lifting the chest. 1 more. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. We'll come into some standing poses. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back. So maybe you're bringing the hands onto the blocks. Maybe not. But we're going to drop that right knee down to the ground. So maybe you pad the right knee, or maybe not. Now bring your hands to the top of the left thigh. We'll take a low lunge here for a few moments. So we're going to stay here for some time. I'm going to give you lots of options of what you'd like to do. So the space is here for you to do what you'd like. First, let me just say, because I just noticed it in my own body, if you're ever feeling a little wobbly in poses like this, you might take the front foot and just walk it 1 heel toe over towards its pinky toe side. So the left foot a little over to the left, and then you'll feel a little more stable. Okay. So maybe you want to focus on some pelvic tilts. Maybe you want to focus on your hip flexor. Maybe you want to focus on your upper body. So maybe you come to sort of this low crescent lunge. Maybe you take a goalpost. Maybe you take yoga mudra. Maybe you take a side stretch. We're going to stay here for several breaths. You move in a way that feels good for you in this moment on this side today. So let's stay again for about maybe 5 breaths. Just check in with your body, check in with your breath. You can move, you can stay still. Do what feels good. And again, relax the spaces that you can. At the very least, I don't know what you're doing, but at the very least, you can relax the muscles of your face. I'm sure you can relax your throat, neck, and jaw. Let's stay for 1 more breath here on this side. Okay, and then we'll all return back. Let's bring the hands back down onto the ground. Now we're going to keep the right hand here. We're going to take a twist so the right hand might be more comfortable on a block or right on the mat, but make sure it's under the shoulder. Bring the right hand down, really firm it up. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, reach the left fingertips to the sky. Let's take a twist. Now, you can look down towards the mat for less of a stretch in your neck. You can keep your nose sort of looking over to the left side of the room, or maybe for more of a stretch in your neck, you look up towards your left hand or up towards the sky. Now, you can keep that right knee down on the ground, or you can hook the back toes under and lift that knee up. If you do that, really lengthen that right leg. Instead of letting the right knee sag towards the floor, can you lift the right knee up and away from the ground? Engage the top of the right thigh, the quads. And then really rotate that left shoulder back. Maybe you take a half bind. Maybe you take a different arm variation. Do what feels good for you in this side, in this moment today. But let's stay for 3 breaths in a twisted lunge. And then if you've got any sort of half bind, slowly release it, and then gently drop that right knee back down onto the ground. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left hand down onto the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take downward facing dog. You've got 3 to 5 breaths before we do those poses on the second side. You can be wherever you'd like to be. All right, now from downward facing dog, deeply bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump into forward fold Uttanasana. From forward fold, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back, all the way back, and then we're going to drop the knee down to the ground. You might pad under it, you might not, but eventually bring your hands to the top of the right thigh to lift the torso. And you be where you would like to be. So maybe you want to focus on your hips and your pelvis, and maybe you do some pelvic tilts. Maybe you allow your hips to come forward. Maybe you really focus on the lower half, or maybe you focus a little bit more on your spine, on your shoulders. Maybe you take a side stretch. Maybe you reach up, maybe you reach back, turn upside down, whatever you need to do. I'm probably don't do that, but whatever you need to do, just take maybe 3 to 5 breaths here. Again, just being somewhere that feels good. You're not limited to the options I have given. You can take whatever, truly whatever feels good. And then as you're doing so, check in with your breath. Check in with, again, some of those spaces that generally can relax. Can you soften them? Can you provide your body with some softness as well as some strength? One more breath. All right, and then inhale. Exhale, let's bring the hands back down. So again, we're going to take that twist. The left hand needs to be down under the shoulder. It can be on a block or the mat. That's your call. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, reach the right fingertips to the sky as you turn into a twist. So listen to your neck. You can look straight over to the right side of the room, and that's fine. But if that's a little too much, you can look down. But if it's not enough, you can look up. And maybe you like this low lunge and you stay right here. Maybe you hook the back toes under, lift that knee. And if you choose to do that, try not to let the left knee sag. Really push through the left heel. Try to straighten that left leg. Reaching that left heel back, lifting the left knee away from the floor. Engage the top of the left thigh, the left quads. Push the left hand down to reach right fingertips up. Think about broadening your wingspan. Maybe you take a half bind. Maybe you reach the right fingertips up and away, whatever you like. But take a twist as you draw the right shoulder back. Turn your heart up. 2 more breaths in a twisted lunge of your choice. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Let that left knee come down. Inhale. Exhale, step the right foot back, and maybe you just stay here in tabletop. Maybe you take child's pose. Maybe down dog, but again, 3 to 5 breaths to be where it feels good to be. Take one more breath where you're at, and then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, deeply bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down and inhale, rise all the way up. Reach the fingertips up, lift the chest, lift the heart, and then arrive in Tadasana, mountain pose, for a deep breath. All right, now here, let's bring the feet together. Big toes will touch a sliver of space between the heels, so all 10 toes are still facing forward. Shift the weight back into the heels. You can wiggle your toes. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, drop the seat down and back, Utkatasana. Feet together, knees together, seat down and back. Now, oftentimes down and back then creates people to put, or encourages people falsely into a back bend. Hip flexors are tight, low back is tight. Next thing you know, you're in a back bend in this pose. Don't do that. So can you draw your ribs in just a little bit, like your belly button is pointing towards your face, just a hair? Can you create length in your spine instead of an arch in your spine? So find neutral, maybe even place your hands there. I'm a big fan of that because finding the wrinkles in your clothing or your skin helps. So can you lengthen as well as strengthen the tops of the thighs? And maybe you just have hands at the heart. Maybe you reach the arms up and away. But again, you can wiggle your toes. Seat is down and back. Spine is long. Shoulders relaxed. Utkatasana chair pose. Feel work, power, strength, force, fire, determination. You've got it. One more breath. Strength here in fierce pose, chair pose. Inhale, exhale, fold. All right, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step to your last downward facing dog, or maybe just a child's pose or tabletop. The last opportunity for a pose in this orientation. Stay for 2 or 3 breaths. All right. And then we'll meet in tabletop. And then we're going to take a seat. So you're going to swing your legs around. Let them come in front of you. All right. So here you don't need to sit on anything. Sort of last little bit of work, fire in this space. Okay. So feet, at least heels on the ground. Bring your hands to the backs of the thighs. You know where I'm going with this. Sit up tall. We don't want a cat or a cow here. We want neutral. And again, you're going to be tempted in different poses. You're going to be tempted to do different things. So in chair pose, you're tempted to come into like a cow pose. In this pose, you're going to be tempted to come to a cat pose. We still want neutral in either pose. You just have to fight the appropriate temptation. Okay, so hands to the backs of the thighs, sit up tall, relax the shoulders, lean back. Now you're leaning back and hinging at the hips. So it's like you're opening your hip flexor. You're not changing the spine. You're not changing the neck. Oftentimes people reach their chin forward, so draw it back. Hands can stay at the backs of the thighs and feet can stay on the ground. Your core should be turned down the front side, should be feeling work even here. But if you need a little bit more work, you can lift your feet up off the ground, but keep your feet together, flexed, and lift them up. Don't let them just hover over the ground. If you're going to lift them up, right? Okay, lift your chest, broaden through the collarbones, soften the shoulders. You're welcome to keep your hands on the backs of the thighs. Just don't squeeze. We don't want more tension. So can you relax or just release, right? Okay, lift the chest. You're not in a cat pose. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Relax your shoulders, relax even all the way to your fingertips, even if you're holding onto the backs of the thighs. Let's stay for one more breath, staying strong and powerful here in Navasana. Inhale. Exhale, let the feet come down. Bring your hands beside you. Let your knees sway. So here I want you to take a bit of a twist. So think about your heart still facing forward. It's not going to sway to the sides, but get your belly button to point over to the sides of the room. So your chest is facing forward, but can you point your belly button over to the right and over to the left? Twisting will help us relieve any tension in the core. One more time each side. And we're going to do boat pose again. Okay, so feet on the ground, knees bent, hands to the backs of the thighs. Sit up tall again, lengthen the back of the neck. Too often, sometimes people get the spine right, sort of from shoulders to hips, but then their neck is all wonky. So your neck, I've heard teachers say your neck is an extension of your spine. Your neck is part of your spine. So it is an extension of your spine in that it is still your spine. So lengthening your spine, I don't mean from shoulders down. I mean from your tailbone to the crown of your head is a straight line. Okay. Hands at the back of the thighs. Sit up tall, relax the shoulders, start to lean back, feel it in the front side. Maybe you keep the feet down, maybe you lift them up, maybe you keep the hands here, maybe you release them. You know what to do, just stay with it. Now, when you're doing core work, you're going to breathe a little more shallow. You're going to breathe into your chest. That's okay. So don't worry about taking belly breaths. You're going to breathe into your chest. That's all right. And then relax the chest, relax the shoulders. Imagine that relaxation washing and like rolling all the way down to your fingers, lifting the heart, lifting the chest, lengthen through the back of the neck, no wrinkles in the back of the neck. Keep the feet up, together and flexed. 3 more deep breaths here. Feel strong through the front side. 2 more deep breaths, breathing smooth and fluid. 1 more deep breath, Navasana, boat pose. You've got it. Inhale, exhale, let the feet come down, bring the hands down, let the knees sway. And when I do this too, I think about sort of lengthening my hip flexor too, because my hip flexors do start to chime in quite a bit in boat pose, which is not so ideal, but it happens. So this sort of gives you the opportunity to open that hip flexor up a little bit and twist. Do this 1 more time each side. All right. Okay. Now we're going to come down onto our back. You are going to need your block or block-like thing again. We're going to come down onto our backs, and don't put anything under the back of your head. You know, you probably know we're coming to bridge pose, but so nothing under the back of the head, and have a block close by. All right. We're going to start with a few moving bridges. Now, these moving bridges don't have to be very effortful. You're going to put a little bit of effort, but they don't have to be your strongest, deepest bridge. If you want them to be, they can, but they don't have to be. All right, so let yourself relax, arms alongside the body, palms face down, knees bent, feet flat, feet and knees hip distance apart, toes forward. Okay. Tuck your tailbone like you're doing that 1/2 of the pelvic tilt. Point your belly button towards your face. You'll feel your core turn on. And then think about peeling up off the mat that way, pushing the feet down. Inhale, lift your seat, lift your lower back, lift your mid back. And as you lift, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your backside. And then exhale, keep the tuck of the tailbone, belly button to the face as you start to lower the mid back, the low back. Keep the tuck of the tailbone, belly button to the face as you lower the sacrum and the seat. Do this a few more times. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale as you lift. Reach, rise, and squeeze as you lift. And then exhale, lower. Keep the tuck of the tailbone, belly button to the face. Lengthen the lower back as you do this. We'll do just a few more like this. Now, if you're really familiar with this movement, think about checking in with your feet. So evenly distribute the weight between not only your right and your left foot, because one leg and one foot is probably going to want to take on a little bit more of the work. So can you evenly distribute the weight right to left? And then can you evenly distribute the weight within each foot? So looking at each foot, are you dumping the weight into the big toe side, into the pinky toe side? Are you gripping the toes into the ground? So can you even it out? You can think about your foot having 4 corners, and can you evenly distribute the weight between the 4 corners of the feet? And then that'll help keep the knees right over the ankles instead of the knees knocking in or splaying out. And then it just sort of has this domino effect, right? The snowball effect as it goes up. If we can start with a strong foundation, everything else sort of falls into place. Okay, let's do about 2 more of these, really slow, really thoughtful. Again, they don't have to be that big, they don't have to be that deep, but just feeling that work, feel that engagement you have, that control that you've got over your body. Now, the next time you lower down, we'll pause there. The next time you lower down, come all the way down and come into constructive resting pose. Knees still bent, feet still flat, but just walk the feet out so they're out as wide as your mat and knock the knees in. It's like the opposite of butterfly pose. Instead of feet together, knees wide, it's knees together, feet wide. And just take a few breaths here. One more breath. And then bring the feet and knees back to hip distance. We're going to take a supported bridge, but you know your options. You've got lots of options. If you'd rather grab a spot by the wall and do like legs up the wall, you could do that. You could take a supported bridge. You could take, if you want a more active bridge, you could do that. You've got lots of options. Remember that I am giving you suggestions. You take them or leave them. You do what you like. You're in the driver's seat of your body, of your practice, of what you do. So if you're like, I don't want to do that, and that just doesn't go for right now, anytime you're practicing yoga at home, online, in class, whatever, you do what you want to do. So my recommendation in this moment is a supported bridge, some version of a supported bridge. That might mean legs up the wall. That might mean having your legs moving actually over to the wall. You might take that sort of legs up the wall, like you've got that invisible wall. You might lengthen your legs, whatever you do. But either way, you're going to push your feet down, lift your hips, slide the block so it comes under your sacrum. Now, you're welcome to use a pillow for this, whatever you've got, but making sure it's on your sacrum, not your lower back. And then you might even notice, this is for those of you who are really into like anatomy and this sort of technical stuff, notice which direction your belly button is pointing when you're in bridge pose. And I'm not going to tell you that one direction is right and one is wrong, but if bridge pose, I want you to know you have the freedom to choose any pose you like, but I also want you to know that when you're in a pose, like evaluate it and really think like, do I like this pose? Could I change a teeny tiny little thing about this pose to make it more comfortable? And so maybe that's something that you notice. Maybe you want your pelvis sort of tipped one way. Maybe you want it tipped the other way. Really explore not just alignment in certain poses, but take those ideas and sort of not copy and paste, but implement them in other poses. Okay. I'll finish talking soon, I promise. So just choose a spot, choose where you'd like to be. You know your body better than anybody. So whatever that looks like. And then once you've positioned your legs where you like them, then check in with your arms. Do you want the arms alongside the body? Do you want the arms out in opposite directions? Maybe palms up. And then settle in. Let yourself really relax in this pose. Whatever you've chosen, trust that you've chosen it because your body is asking for that movement, for that shape. And then allowing your body to rest. Check in with your breath. Allow your breath to be smooth and fluid, relaxed and effortless. Stay where you're at for 3 more deep breaths. Now continue to deepen your breath, and wherever you're at, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. And whatever leg position you've chosen, slowly and mindfully come back with your knees bent and your feet flat, coming in a traditional supported bridge. Pause for a few breaths here. And then push the feet down. Inhale, lift the hips, slide the block off to the side. Use the whole exhalation to lower. Peel back down onto the mat. Lengthen your lower back. Tuck your tailbone as you lower. And then again, constructive resting pose. Knees bent, feet flat. Knock the knees in. Take a few deep breaths, maybe even belly breaths. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees in. Take a few moments. Take a pose that feels good, a movement, a stretch that feels good for you. Again, always knowing that you have essentially limitless options. Give yourself a few more breaths. Moving, wiggling, fidgeting. And then find your Shavasana. And again, That might mean using props or coming to the wall. It might mean something other than just lengthening your legs, or it might mean just lengthening your legs. I don't know what feels best in your body. You decide that. But again, the intention is to come to a pose, come to a position that you really can just relax. You don't have to focus or work or engage. You can simply soften, release, and relax. And as you're settling into Shavasana, you know, even here, you've got physical options and you've got mental and energetic options for what's happening inside. Maybe you focus on your breath. Maybe you come back to your own intention. Or maybe you focus on the solar plexus, the space of your inner fire, your strength, your personal growth comes from the solar plexus. And so I'll give you a few affirmations. You can take them or leave them, but allow yourself to stay internally focused. I honor the power within me. I can achieve anything I set my mind to. I will not settle for less than what I deserve. I can accomplish incredible things. I am strong, powerful, and confident. I honor the power within me. I can achieve anything I set my mind to. I will not settle for less than what I deserve. I can accomplish incredible things. I am strong, powerful, and confident. Slowly deepen your breath. And imagine that these breaths are not just contained to your lungs or torso. Each breath is a little deeper and fills your body a little bit more. So these breaths fill your entire body from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers to the top of your head. And then these breaths propel the movement so it's effortless to move, effortless to rock your head from side to side, to run your thumbs over the rest of your fingertips as you wiggle your toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Move arms and legs. And maybe reach arms overhead, taking one last full body stretch. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. And slowly roll over onto either side, resting your ear on your arm. And using the strength of both arms, push down into the ground and come up to a comfortable seat. Take a moment here to thank yourself. You made it to your mat today. And maybe reflect on your intention. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. And now let's join the hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. To seal our practice, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Om is said to be the oldest and most sacred mantra, uniting all living things together. You're welcome to listen or join me, but again, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Let's start with a deep and clearing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Om. The light or the good in me acknowledges, respects, and bows to the light or the good in you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Again, this was a gentle yoga practice focused on the solar plexus, which a lot of times if you, are researching or looking, again, it's going to come a lot very frequently back to core work. But it's just igniting that fire in you. So it doesn't have to be here, but this is the sort of seat of the chakra. But again, if you want to read a little bit about more about it, I'll put in some articles. And then again, one more time, let me know what your thoughts are on the audio. I mentioned that I keep buying and returning microphones. I think I've bought and returned 3. The one I recorded this month's other video, I still have that one. I didn't return that one. So those are sort of our options, I guess. And trust me, they are the best out of everything else I came across. So let me know what makes more sense, what, sounds good, whatever. I'll do that. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.